What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back for another video. We're doing it on the cell phone today. Why are they lying about hate crimes? If this world, if this country was so racist, and every time a black man goes somewhere, they got to worry about the white man coming and hunting them down like wild animals, then why are you making it up? Why you got to make up this stuff? Jussie Smollett, perfect example, fraud. But what I want to talk about this last guy. This guy had to be the stupidest guy. You know, in policing, we don't catch the smart ones. We just don't. We don't catch them. They rob you and they get away. For the most part. The dummies are the ones that we consistently catch. Red-handed. Red-handed. Murder weapon in their hand. This fool, if you haven't heard, Tampa Bay, a former football player, NFL football player that played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think I forget his name at this point, but y'all get it. What is his name?
Edon Kaufman.
Edon Kaufman. Edon Kaufman. First of all, he had a criminal record, right? I mean, he ain't got arrested for all kind of stuff. I think drugs was involved, guns. He had a bad past. But Edon done went off the chain. I don't know if he was just trying to do insurance fraud, which is pretty much what he did. But I don't know if his full intentions were to do insurance fraud or to do insurance fraud and make white people look bad. So if you haven't heard about this fool, what he essentially did was he go into his establishment. He owns a business, a restaurant. He goes in the restaurant. He pulls the TVs out of the walls, vandalize the restaurant, write the N word on there, write MAGA on there. I think he wrote monkey on there somewhere. He wrote this on his own stuff. Then the fool was stupid enough to have the TVs in the truck. The truck parked right outside the establishment. This fool gets in the truck. Police doing what they do. It looked very suspicious, obviously enough. They pull him over. It says that they did a felony stop on him. Now, if y'all don't know what a felony stop is, a felony stop is when we call it high risk. It's when you're pulling somebody over for a extremely hazardous, dangerous, violent crime. So it's either if a person is in a stolen vehicle, you pull them out at gunpoint. It is an entire ordeal. If a person is a murder suspect and you pull them over in traffic, it's called a felony stop. So they didn't pull this fool out of the felony stop. They noticed he had the TVs in his car, the truck. They noticed that he had already made an insurance claim. There was black paint all over the building. He had black paint on his hands. I mean, dude, can you at least conceal the crime a little better than that? Even Jussie followed the guys that he claimed did this hate crime against him. He followed him on Twitter, got receipts and stuff with his name. He paid him with his name on the receipt. But it speaks to a bigger issue, right? It speaks to a bigger issue. They need us to hate one another so bad. And the brainwashing and Trump derangement syndrome is so ingrained in the spirit of some people that they have to create lies. They have to peddle and perpetuate falsehoods. They have to create their own, I don't know, their own scenarios of drama that really do not exist. But they have to do that in order to fulfill this idea that they're winning on their perspective or that Trump is losing on our perspective, if that makes sense. I'm perplexed at how ignorant some people really are, right? All jokes aside, I'm perplexed at how ignorant people are. People are always talking about, you know, America. America was never great. America, all this other stuff, man. It's like, how do you live in a country so great but not see the greatness of America? How do you, maybe if you don't have access to looking at other countries or maybe you live in a box, but all you got to do is Google any other country in the world, just about, and you will see that you have more rights in this country than any other country in the world, in the whole globe. You have the ability to become successful in America way more often than you would in any other country. I think places in Europe, they charge people, they got 70% taxes on people. You ain't never going to be successful out there. Not like you will in America. You play your cards right. Some of y'all know you get a good tax representative, you're going to be paying as minimal tax as you can. Some millionaires, billionaires, corporations don't even pay taxes at all. But only in America can you see that success. These other places, you're not going to get it, man. Let's talk about diversity. All these people that claim that black people are getting the raw deal, well, go move to an all-black nation and see how they treat you. Show me an all-black nation that's as prosperous as America. Oh, okay, I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. I'm just keeping it 100, y'all. If I was an alien that came out of space and landed on planet Earth, and I didn't have a color, I wasn't connected to anybody, I wasn't involved in anything else, I just impartially looked at the perspective of what the conditions are in America and around the world, I would really consider in my mind that maybe people should look more into and appreciate more of what the Americans are doing, what the Americans have done. And if you want to use race into it, if you want to play the race card, you need to be paying attention to what the white people knew. Because the white folks seem like they had it figured out. I don't know about you, but they had it figured out. Black folks still ain't got it figured out. We don't have it figured out in a white nation. We definitely don't have it figured out in the black countries. Can we come to a realization that there's something to the forefathers of the United States of America? Let's forget about race at this point. They had something, right? They knew something. They had access to something that other people just didn't have. They foresaw that we needed the Constitution. They foresaw that the greatest thing that you can give to a nation of people to free them is the freedom of expression, the freedom for them to speak, and the freedom for the press to report on it. That's one of the greatest freedoms that you can give any nation that you want to be successful. The second, you have a right to bear arms to protect the first one and everyone else that come along with it. Why do other countries not have that? It's the greatest document in the history of the world. And I'm going to tell you this. Like, Candace Owens went on a little panel and everybody trying to make a big deal out of T.I. saying, when was America ever great? First of all, T.I. is softer than a wet piece of toilet paper. And I can't stand T.I. I can't stand these fake rappers because all they do is talk trash and damage the integrity and morals of the black community. Then they want to speak on the other end and blame the white man. Bro, the white man wasn't selling drugs, T.I. You were. The white man ain't making records defiling our women and talking about, criticizing our men to the point of which you talking about killing them because they don't represent the hood you represent. The white man ain't doing that. That's you doing it. And you want to have the narrative to say, when was America ever great? Negro, when did you make $1 million the first time? What, 10, 15 years ago? We're the only black. Think about this for a minute. When did T.I. make $1 million? I would have told T.I., first time you made $1 million, that let's go back to your first meal. At least America been great that long. P. Diddy ran the panel. P. Diddy, when did you make a first meal? 20 years ago? At least America's been great 20 years ago. Let's go back even farther. Let's go back even further. Let's go back to Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first female millionaire out of any race in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. So I think America's pretty good for her. How in the world, if black people had no opportunities and we just up under the thumb of the white man, how could a woman have the ability to make more money than most men in America? Being a millionaire, having a millionaire status back in the 1900s was very rare. For a black person, it was even more rare. And for a woman, it was even triple the rarity. But y'all don't want to talk about that. How was she able to make it, but y'all suckers can't make it today? Because the white man hold you down. No, bro. You ain't taking responsibility for your actions. You ain't taking responsibility for how you raise your kids. You want the white man to raise your kids, and you want to get mad at him if he don't raise your kids right. You need to raise your own kids. I was just at Blexit in out there in Baltimore, and I said, you got to look in the mirror and decide, are you going to be a lion or are you going to be soft? They want to create us to be soft. I'm not saying just black people. I'm talking about Americans in general. They want you to be soft, man. They want you to believe that you're too stupid to create a life that you want to live, that the government have to do it for you. They want you to believe that you're too stupid to be ambitious enough to create things in America that's going to set everybody up for success. They think the government should do that. They think you're too stupid not to realize that they're peddling and pushing political agendas to make us hate each other when we should never hate each other. There's no reason for us to hate each other. They're really not. I was on an airplane with a lady. She reminded me of my grandmother. That lady was white. I felt like I was talking to my granny on the airplane. What differences do we have? We don't have any unless we want to create them. Let's see, Ken, thanks for the super chat. Please run for office. They ain't ready for me. They ain't ready for me, y'all. They ain't ready. Cause man, I ain't PC enough, man. I'll be in there tearing people up. But you know, I'm in my heart of hearts, I just wish that more people would wake up. I wish that more people would understand that America had it right the first time. All it took was for it to come to fruition. Think about this for a minute. Any of y'all that's watching that have ever did a workout regimen, right? I mean, you were overweight or you were out of shape, whatever the case may be, and you started working out, started hitting the weights. You got your workout plan, you got your cardio, you got your weightlifting, and you got your diet in line. When was your diet great? After you see the results, or it was great at the beginning, it just took it time to come to fruition? Explain to me, when was the diet great? When you started it? Because it never really changed. It was an unchangeable regimen for success. It took a little bit for your body to catch up with it, but it led you to success from the very beginning. The Constitution have put us in a position to be successful from the very beginning. It took some time for some big-headed, arrogant people to catch on to it, and some of which was a natural course of action. You can't expect for a person to be a free slave and all of a sudden, hundreds of years of being a slave, they're gonna be equal to people who were never slaves. There's gonna be a curve. There's gonna be a curve of people being accepted into society and moving forward. Just like back in the day, gay was a mental illness. Do I think that those people were evilly trying to come after gay people? Oh, we hate you. It's that it took some time for more research to be done, for more people to come out and voice their opinion, and people to kind of see it from a different perspective. It began to mold unto what we see today, some of which I think is out of control, but the basic theme of it, I think, is residual from people actually understanding and evolving as a people. And understanding that it abides by the Constitution for people to have the freedom to express themselves, even if they want to be with another man. That is a constitutional right that you have. And like I said, the Constitution was written before the perfection of it came to fruition. And I don't think it's going to ever be perfect, but it is in a perfecting mode. But they want to tell you that America was never great. I just crazy to me, because for people to say that, you have to be a selfish, ignorant person. Because if you think America's greatness only dictated how black people felt in America, then you're wrong. If it was only dictated by how Native Americans felt in America, then you're wrong. If it was only dictated on how women felt in America, you were wrong. If it was only dictated on how poor white people felt in America, then you were wrong. The greatness of America is established at the beginning. We're just thankful enough that people are seeing it come to fruition. Our forefathers had a vision of us all being equal. The inalienable rights, right? God-given rights that the government can never give and the government can't take it away. I don't know why we even let the government take a lot of the rights that we have away. The government not supposed to give them or take them away. They're supposed to ensure that they protect the rights that have already been given to you by God. I think we forget that. That's why they want to take God out of everything, because they don't want you to remember that God is the one that gave you this stuff. Now, if you don't believe in God, then you'll believe that the government gave it to you. If you believe in God, you understand that God gave this to you from the foundation of the earth. These are your rights, God given. Ken, someone has to fix Arizona. I will volunteer for your campaign. If I have a campaign, man, I got a whole bunch of riders that's gonna come with me. But I have to see where a door open up that's gonna be good enough for me to walk away from what I'm doing currently. Zachariah, thanks so much for the super chat. Let's see. Excitable 101, thank you so much for modding during the show, man. Appreciate it. But I just had to throw that out. I had to get this off my chest, man. We gotta I'm saying we gotta come together. I'm saying people who love this country. If you don't love this country, screw you. Screw you. Go lay up somewhere. Go to another country. Go do you. I'm talking about the people who actually love this country, and we're let's see, united on the front of making it better. Not you cowards who want to see our country fall apart. You want socialism, and you want to lie to everybody to get elected. Listen, let me tell you this. These people do not want socialism. They don't even live a socialistic life. They don't do it. They will never do it. These politicians don't have government insurance. They have their own private insurance. They're not running on government insurance. I almost would guarantee you they weren't on Obamacare.
No, they opted out of it.
Opt out of it. Why you opt? No. You're going to make me do it.
Congress opted out of it for themselves, but Obamacare for everyone.
Right. You're going to make me do it, but you don't even want to do it. You don't trust it enough for you to do it, but you want me to do it through a penalty of fining me if I don't join an insurance company that you don't even trust. But you know they don't care. They just want your vote. Think about this for a minute. I want y'all to really ponder this, especially if you just now watching my page, you never seen me speak before. I want you to really consider this idea right here. They understand socialism doesn't work. But to the naked eye, I'm going to say not the naked eye, the crooked eye. If you cannot see straight and you are not informed, socialism sounds like a good idea to you. Free college? Who wouldn't want free college? But this is the thing that I've always said. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You think you just going to get free college and that's going to be the end of it? No, fool. They finna make you go where they want you to go. They're going to make you study what they want you to study because they have you at the bottom. You know what? Think about this. Once they take all of your health care, they want universal health care for all. Once they take your health care out of the hands of private insurers, they're going to tell you where you can go to the doctor. They're going to tell you what coverage that you can get and when and how. If they pay, think about this. When your mom and them was paying them bills, how much say did you have? My daddy say, when you start paying the bills, then you can tell me what I'm going to do with this and that. That's the same thing the government's about to do to you. They're going to say, well, you pay for your own education, then you can tell me where you deserve to get an education from. Until then, I'll tell you where to go. I'm just keeping it 100. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Look at these communist countries. Socialism is, they have to drive a certain car. I remember when it could have been elementary school. I remember learning about, maybe it was in Germany or somewhere. They had the same, they only could drive X amount of cars and they couldn't even pick the color of the car. It had to be white or black or something like that. I forget what country, I was young. I was like, that's the weirdest thing. I thought that was so weird. I thought that was a foreign concept. Like, how could anybody live in that environment where you can't even pick the car you drive? You got to drive the same color. How boring is that? But this is the same thing they're trying to shove down your throat now. Let's talk about guns for a minute. And I'm going to beat that dead horse till it turns into powder. Listen, they know that taking AR-15s ain't going to do nothing. They're trying to find a platform in which to run on to get into your emotions. And for anybody that got common sense, you should know better than to allow the government to dictate what kind of gun use you own. Because if they're going to ban, think about this, if they're going to ban AR-15s from citizens having them, then they need to ban AR-15s from police officers. You haven't heard them give a rhetoric of saying, well, police officers don't need it because the citizens don't. They know police officers need it because they know that people aren't going to just give up their guns. Think about this. They know that the criminals aren't going to show up at the gun buyback and say, sir, I have a felony on my record, but I possess this gun illegally. I want to give my gun back, but also take me to prison for the rest of my life. Because I feel compelled, because you're leading from the, what they call it, I think they lead in from the rear is what I call it, but you're leading, we're leading on climate change. Let's lead on gun control. So the criminals and the thugs, they're going to put their guns down and say, you know what, cuz? I'm not going to run up on homeboy this weekend. I'm going to go turn my gun into gun buyback, cuz. Out here in Cali, we doing gun buybacks. They ain't doing that. Are you stupid? You're going to prison. You're a convicted felon. What you going to do? Hey, grandma, can you go turn my guns in? Then what's going to happen to you when Ray Ray didn't run up on you? You ain't got no gun. Let me tell you something. I learned this. The hood, in my opinion, the hood is the most capitalistic thing that I've seen. It's like the bad side of capitalism when it's like the illegal capitalism. It's like the black market of capitalism, but it's capitalistic. When you sell drugs, you don't want no involvement with the government. You don't want to pay no taxes. You don't want the police involved. You don't want no government intervention in your enterprise while you selling dope. You better have good product and you better have good prices, because you're going to get bought out by homeboy that's selling dope on the corner over there. You better have the best product. People go out to foreign countries to get the best product, and then they sell it at a wholesale rate. How do you think they came up with the price of a dime bag? What's the going rate of a dime bag? You can't sell a dime bag for $45, and the man over here selling a dime for 10. The going rate for a dime bag is $10 back when I was a kid. I don't know what a dime bag is now. Maybe inflation made it go up. I don't know. But think about it for a minute. I ain't never heard a drug dealer in my life say, you know what, boy, little Johnny, man, he was having a hard time hustling last week. I've been hustling all night. I had to rob a few people. I done made all this money. I want to give little Johnny the same amount I'm making, and I'm hustling, and he's sitting on the couch. Name a drug dealer get a drug money to somebody else because they want them to be equal. Come on, quit being stupid. Ain't nobody ever did that. And they will never do that. They don't pay taxes. Then tell me a drug dealer that's running around the hood with no gun. I know I'm not making this up. Tell me a gangster that's running around the hood with no gun. But then somehow we think that it makes sense to run around in our regular life with no firearm. At least we don't even want the opportunity to own one. I tell people this all the time. I want my AR-15. I sleep with it every night next to my bed, loaded. If anybody come in my house, I am fully confident that I'm going to win any gun battle with my AR-15. I am 100% confident. My handgun, I feel confident, but if they come in with a rifle and I just have the handgun, my confidence level in winning that is a little slimmer. But with that rifle, the 223's going to eat you like an alligator. And I have a right to have that. I don't want to wait for the police to come all the way down that long street, 8 miles off the freeway, to come and try to save my life. Me and Korean sitting in the closet, crying, thinking about our future, wishing that we would have done something different because we ain't got no gun, waiting on a police officer to put the donuts down and drive all the way down there. And if he get into an accident, then we dead. And we dead anyway, because 3 minutes of fighting for your life is a long time. And that's about the average time it takes for police officers to get to a scene of a high crime. Come on, people, you can't do that. They want to take your guns. It sound emotionally correct to some people. They play on people's emotions. They want to take your gun because what they really want is for nobody to have firearms. They want the government to control every aspect of your life. And then what's going to happen there? It's like a government-run Ponzi scheme where the people at the top are going to be filthy, filthy rich, and you're going to be left with a hope and a dream that one day you will get to that point. And the more you work, the more money they get. I know I'm preaching right now. Y'all need to pass the offering tray around. The more money on a Ponzi scheme or like a network marketing, even in the legitimate network marketing sense, the people who grinding at the bottom, that's trying to make it to the top, the more you grind, the more rich they get, or the richer they get. The more you grind, the bigger their paychecks are. You can grind harder than everybody in the company. The more you grind, you'll get a little piece of it, but they don't get most of it. That's socialism to me. In my opinion, the more you grind, the more you keep. If the government ain't producing nothing with quality, then they ain't got no money. I'm gonna finish with this because we got to go eat. If you had a friend, right, and your friend came to you and said, "Hey man, I need your help. Can you loan me some money, right? Can you loan me some money? I need you to loan me about $1,000 a month for 12 months. I need you to loan me this money, and I'll make sure, bro, that I take care of you, man. I'm gonna make sure I know some people at the car wash that'll get your car wash for free. I'm gonna make sure you do this, do that, and that." And you say, "All right, let me sit down and consider this." And you look at the person you want to loan money to, and they're, I don't know, $70,000 in debt. You look at their house and they living like they homeless. They car dirty. They telling you they gonna get you a car wash, but they car dirty. They telling you they gonna give you the hookup on the haircut, but they ain't had a haircut in 3 months. Now, why are you gonna loan them money and trust that they're gonna do something right with your money in 12 months? Then why would you do that with the government? The government said, "We're gonna take your money and fix these streets." They ain't fixed the potholes deeper than you can put a baby in these potholes. You can bathe your kid in these potholes in California. 2 of them, you put the twins in there. You know, so they claim they're gonna do it, but they're not doing anything. The government, our federal government is 20-some trillion dollars in the debt. What? And you supposed to manage my money, right? And you $20 trillion in debt? Y'all don't hear me though. $20 trillion in debt, and they want to tell me that I should give them all of my money so they can control my finance, they control how much money I made, they control what insurance company I go down, control what car I drive, control what gun I own, and y'all can't even keep the budget right. Even under Donald Trump's administration, they still running that debt up. Come on, people. I know we smarter than that. But anyway, man, God bless you guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Gary, I'm going to answer a few super chats real quick. Gary, thanks so much for the super chat. What is the 1619 by New York Times about? Is that the thing that what's his name's talking about?
Oh.
Spike Lee? What's his thing? Is that
Spike Lee
1619? No, what's Spike Lee's thing? 1619?
New York Times?
We'll look at
New
it.
York Times 1619 Project.
The 1619 Project, that's the thing that what's the name is doing? Spike Lee.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
We'll check on it while wait. Mario, my brother, thanks so much for the super chat. How you liking Goodyear, bro? How are your numbers looking for your radio show first 2 weeks? Goodyear, we love it out of Goodyear. It's beautiful out there, man. It's out in the middle of nowhere, away from everybody, in a nice community, but it's away from everybody. I like it that way. The house is beautiful. We got a pool. So Mario, when you come over, you can bring your son. Y'all can come over there. We can swim. But it's really nice. My radio show, I haven't looked at the numbers. They're really pleased with what's going on, but I haven't looked at the numbers yet. I'm gonna start trying to put the links and stuff on the YouTube so people can watch them if they missed it on the podcast or they missed it live. They're excited about what I'm doing, so I think that the numbers are doing really well. But I have to do a better job on my side of marketing and making sure that they're killing it. But if y'all don't know, I got a show, the Brandon Tatum Show, KTAR 92.3. It's a radio show in Phoenix, Arizona. I do it every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's syndicated through podcasts on KTAR's podcast. You can download that app on your smartphone, whichever where you have an Android. I'll try to put some links on it. I always say I am, but it's kind of weird trying to coordinate the link for the iPhone and the Android. Right now, I can give you the link for the Android, but I got to try to find the iPhone, or at least put it together. We'll put it together for you guys. But appreciate it, Mario. Thanks, man. You got to come by one day. Let's see. Let's see. More than likely. Thanks so much for the super chat. Let's see. Let's see. Dane and the Crane. I'm going to need to see a warrant if they won't mind. Laugh out loud. You're doing good work, man. Bringing us together. Man, that's the tipping point in America. They want a civil war. They don't get a civil war. Ain't no way in the world you finna come take my rifle. You ain't taking it. You're not taking it. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I would hate for them to have to put the men and women in blue in dangerous way to enforce a policy that an idiot is trying to do. He not finna go to your door and take that gun. He gonna send the brave men and women to go put themselves in danger by trying to take somebody's gun. After they shoot the first few cops, they're gonna realize that it's not gonna work. Some people are not gonna do that. Y'all gotta understand, this is a constitutional infringement by the United States government for them to try to ban your rifle. That is an infringement on the Constitution. That's the reason why you have a rifle, for a tyrannical government, which is a portion of what they're doing if they try to come take your gun, because they feel like it. They don't have a legitimate reason to take a rifle. Take the rifle from the thug. Don't take mine. You take mine. He ain't gonna give his up. Let's see, Tina, thanks so much for the super chat. The most terrifying word in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Ronald Reagan. I guess that was a quote from Ronald Reagan. I've never heard that, but I'll take it. It is, man. And, the government ain't doing it. The government is supposed to be a help. They're supposed to help facilitate the rights that you already have and help facilitate the success that you've built. They're not supposed to take over. The government is way too big in America at this point. We shouldn't even be paying half of the taxes we paying. We shouldn't be having to register our cars and all that other stuff. They screwing you. Like my friends say, and I ain't gonna say it on here because it's not, maybe some kids watching. Let's see. Let's see. Stay armed. Appreciate it, Corey. I think we good, man. I'm gonna jump off here early after I answer the super chats because we gotta go eat. We've been moving and I'm tired. I've been flying too. I flew 6 hours today before all this. Let's see. B-Tech, thanks so much for the super chat. We can all start to change things ourselves if we continue to connect with good people, with good will, looking out for other people. I see you said with good people, with the goodwill, looking out for other people, and support each other and serve independently so they lose control. I mean, let me say this. That super chat really stuck with me. I see Chris, thanks so much for the super chat. That stuck with me because I think a lot of times, man, we forget individualism. We want to focus more on the collectivism. We need to really focus on being an individual. Every day, what decisions are you making to make your life better and to make the world better? If every single person as an individual can hone in on their own abilities and gifts and say, what am I doing to be better than I were yesterday? If every individual person does that, we will all be collectively successful. If every person take a step back and say, let me breathe, let me turn the TV off, let me turn the social media off, let me focus on how can I better raise my children. If every individual person thought of that and applied that to their lives instead of waiting on somebody else to do it or waiting on somebody else to help them, we will be a better country. Hands down. What do you want to be? I want to say a lion or the lamb, but then in the Bible, Jesus was the lion and the lamb. And I don't want to conflate the two. I got to find something that I want to use because the lion has no, I could say predators, right? The lion is the king of the jungle. Nobody preys on the lion. The lion preys on whichever species it wants to. Nobody's preying on the lion. You know, you can be a lion or you can be a hyena, which you wait for the big dog to do big things, and then you come and try to scavenge to get a little piece of it, try to steal a little something. You a coward. That's the little hyena. Or you want to, I don't know, you want to be a zebra. You want to be one of these frail animals that just get ate all the time. You snacking on grass, that lion coming to take you down. Make a decision. Some of y'all Not y'all. I'm talking somebody on another live stream. Y'all perfect. But the people on the other live stream, it's like, bro, make up in your mind who you want to be. It all starts in your mind. If you think you ain't nothing, nobody else gonna think you nothing, because you ain't gonna present yourself as being nothing. I have been in both sides of this. I'll give you a perfect example. It's a very learning. It was a learning moment for me. There have been times where I've been extremely confident in where I'm going, who I am, and what I deserve. And I have seen great success from that. But I'm gonna tell you this, I had to check myself. I saw Kevin Gates on the airplane the other day. I was in first class. I fly so much you can get upgraded if people don't find their seat or whatever, or they decide to back out the airplane. Me and Corinne end up getting bumped up to first class on our 2 flights headed home from Candace Owens' wedding. I saw Kevin Gates on the airplane. Kevin Gates, and I don't agree with everything he does. I don't like a lot of stuff that he does. But for some reason, I feel a connection to Kevin Gates and his music. There's things in his music that that resonate with me, good, bad, or indifferent. I feel like he's one of the only real rappers that honestly represent what they really feel and being who they really are. They're not putting on no show. They're not being fake. They ain't no fake gangster. They just doing they're doing what they believe they are on the inside. He always talk about personal responsibility. He always talk about believing in yourself and having being in a certain conscious state where you dominating. You know what I'm saying? And I like that about him. I don't listen to no other rappers. You know, maybe a rap song come on here and there, I may hear one song. I don't listen to no other rappers but Kevin Gates for the last like 3 or 4 years. I saw him on the airplane. Now, mind you, he was a little antisocial. It was at 6 a.m. flight, so he trying to go to sleep and didn't say nothing. But I honestly felt like he was bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, dang, that's Kevin Gates right there. I don't want him to think I'm some lame dude coming up to him while he's trying to sleep and relax. I saw Kevin Gates on a higher level than me. And I feel like that's a learning moment for me, because I have to make up in my mind, who do I see myself as? Because that's how I'm going to project. I mean, if I would even say what's up to him, he probably would have felt the fact that I felt like he was bigger than me. And you don't want to give that energy off. And that's not the way you should act. You know, when I meet the president, I'm confident I'm gonna meet the president. I'm not gonna approach Trump like, oh my God, President Trump, oh my God, can I shake your hand? Can I give you a hug? I'm gonna show that man respect where respect is due. Man to man, bro, I appreciate what you're doing. Because you ain't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? You ain't have to put all that on the line and take all this scrutiny to try to make our country better. And you've done a good job. I respect you. That's the conversation, that's the handshake I'm gonna have with President Trump. Respect him as a man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't my daddy, so he ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? My daddy get a different level of respect. You know what I'm saying? My father is up here. But other men in this world, y'all on the same, you know, I respect you laterally, and not vertically. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I'm gonna act. The next time I see Kevin Gates, I'm sure I'm gonna run into Kevin Gates. I'm gonna dap him up and give him some respect and say, look, man, your music mean a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? I listen to your music. I don't listen. You're the only rapper I listen to. And so, but I hope somebody got something from that story, is that, man, you got to really believe in your heart who you are. I feel like somebody need to hear just one more part of this. When I was playing football, when I was in high school, no, I was in college, my mama used to tell me, what football team you want to play for? What NFL team? I'm like, Mama, why you always doing that? You know, I'm not even to the league yet. Like, I'm not even a freshman in high school. I mean, I'm not even a sophomore in college. Like, my mom like, it don't matter. You need to act like you in the NFL. Let's go buy you something. Let's go buy you some some jewelry. That's what my mama told me. Go buy you some jewelry, because you need to act like you in the NFL. You need to feel like you're in the NFL. And man, I resisted my mama. I said, man, whatever. I just blew my mama off. And now I look back on it. God is my witness. If I could do it all over again, when I was in high school, I would have been more focused on, I'm going to the NFL no matter what. This is the team I'm going to play for, and I'm going to put that team in my locker. Sometimes you got to be radical. I have done radical things, and I've gotten radical results.
That's That's how you got me, babe.
That's how I landed this beauty. You know how Trump say, I landed, and that's a beauty. That's how I landed this beautiful woman. And that's how we landed each other, because we were on the same wavelength.
Right.
We were to the point we like, man, let's get it. And we ran into each other. And I'm crazy and she crazy. So that's how we met. But in all seriousness, you gotta be radical. You gotta be radical, man.
That's true.
If you want that promotion, then start writing your name as Vice President so-and-so. So I ain't saying write on no documents. You know, they don't falsify no documents, get fired. But I'm saying in your own private time, in your own stuff you write down on a piece of paper, just every morning write down Vice President so-and-so. Just write down manager so-and-so. When you on your job and you ain't the manager yet, you should start operating like you the manager. You feel me? You should start thinking, well, when I'm the manager, what am I going to do with this store? How am I going to train the employees? What do I need to do? I need to outwork everybody. So when I'm a manager, I understand how to work and how to move. When people put you in uncomfortable positions, they make you do a job you don't like. You say, well, I need to do that job because when I'm a manager, I need to understand how they work. All you football players out there, put the NFL team you want to, if you want to go to the NFL. If you don't want to go, then put whatever else you want on there. But if you playing ball, put the NFL team you want to play for on your locker in high school, in middle school, in elementary school. Put the NFL team you want to play for on your locker. And I want you want to look at it every day. Look at every day, visualize it. Go on Zillow and look at the house you want to live in. Go out when everybody else is playing video games and sitting in the house. Go outside like I used to do when I was a kid and visualize being like LaDainian Tomlinson. Those were the guys that was in college and stuff when I was playing. But visualize who your favorite players are. Visualize what it's like to be on the field. I used to go out, my dad can attest to this. I used to go out, put my cleats on, and I thought I was Cedric Benson. I'm like, Brandon Tatum. I visualized that I was taking a handoff. Boom, boom, I'm breaking. Oh, he jukes, he runs for the touchdown. Like I used to do that when I was young. And it led me to being very successful in football. But y'all, you gotta visualize. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all may be like, oh, whatever. It works, man. It works because you start seeing it in your mind. They call it your mind's eye. You start seeing it in your mind and you start acting that way. And you start attracting other people that feel that way. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. When I wanted to be successful, when I want certain things, job opportunities, I started running into people that had that opportunity for me. I'm just saying. I'm gonna read a few super chats and then we off. Let's see, Leon. Thanks so much for the super chat. My dad taught me this and I'll never forget it. The greatest gift a father can give his child is to love their mother. Black culture needs to learn this. Families are our foundation. Let me say this. Crucial. Let me tell you this. I disagree and I agree with that comment at the same time. What you can show your son is you can show them love. But you ain't got to really love that person. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Because some of them ain't by it. And you know they ain't by it. And they know they ain't by it. But to the kid, it's important that they see you respect their mother. They see you, give their mother a level of reverence and respect. And you tell them how important it is to respect their mother. I think that is invaluable. But to actually try to love a person who want to ruin your life, who hates your guts.
Jimmy, who are you talking about?
I ain't talking about me. I ain't talking about my life. I'm talking about the other YouTuber. Because I'm perfect. My baby mama perfect. I'm talking about another YouTuber. All right. And I ain't here to talk about nobody. But all I'm saying is that some people don't like you. They hate you. They want to see you fall. They want to use the kids to intervene. And they do a lot of hateful stuff, man. So that don't mean you got to hate them. But that don't mean you got to be fake either. But for the kids, you always need to show respect. Don't disrespect each other in front of the kids. I know it's hard, especially when you don't get along with people, but don't disrespect people in front of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Baby, somebody said, you F that up. Watch your ego. I guess they don't get sarcasm. But anyway. This lady said, I would never want my son to like Kevin Gates he is not an example of a man. I would say, then you would never want your son to like David in the Bible, would you? Would you want your son to like a man who cheated on his wife and got another man's wife pregnant and then send him to the battlefield to get him killed because he wanted to sleep with the man's wife? Have you ever heard of David and Bathsheba? Then you should say you don't want your kid to be like the dude in the Bible, King David. A person may have, what people don't understand about Kevin Gates is that I don't think Kevin Gates is perfect, but you got to watch how he moved and where he came from. Because Kevin Gates used to be a certain way, and he has gotten into a way of changing his mentality. And I think that he's gonna come across one day, he's gonna completely change.
But what she says is an element of truth. You wouldn't let Caden at 9 years old listen to Kevin Gates. You're an adult. You're a grown man. You can listen to it.
Right. I agree with that.
No, we wouldn't let kids listen to any rap.
It's not it's not that principle, right? The principle is, what are the things that he's doing or saying in his personal, I'm not talking about the rap music. I'm talking about the things that he's saying, how he's telling young people not to do X, Y, Z, and what can you take from that? Kevin Gates got something special that other rappers don't have. And I hope that he'll come around the corner one day and fulfill what I think God has for him. But I'm not telling you what to do with your own kids. All I'm saying is that think about the totality of the person before you say you would never want your kids to be like that. Because who do you want your kids to be like? And how do you know what that person is doing in their personal life? I want my son to be like my son. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want my son to be like me. I want Caden to be like Caden. I want him to be the best version of himself. That's what I want for my son. I don't want to be like Kevin Gates, and I don't want my son to be like Kevin Gates. But there are some elements of truth that I respect from him that I can pass along to somebody else. Just like David, King David in the Bible, did a whole bunch of shady stuff that I think is some of the foulest stuff somebody did in the Bible. But there's a lot of things that King David did that you can draw from and you can actually apply to reality. I find, it's funny. I find some of these things very funny because Peter wrote, at least the people compiling the Bible, put most of what Peter wrote in the New Testament. Peter was slaying Christians and he was anti-Christian or, anti-Jesus's movement where he was, I would assume that people got killed over the things that Peter was doing, but damn, Peter is the most prominent person in the New Testament of the Bible. I'm just saying. Do I like everything Peter stood for? No, I don't. But do I think it's some things that you can draw from? Yes. Somebody said Peter's a man after God's own heart. He knew he was a sinner. Yeah, I agree. How do you know what other people's heart is like? Unless you in their chest. Somebody said you refer to Apostle Paul. Yeah. I'm speaking the truth, man. I'm not saying people should do nothing. Somebody may not want their kids to be like whoever. I respect that. I'm just giving my side of it. It said, Brandon, why weren't you at the Revolt Summit? Man, they don't want men to go on to these platforms. They don't want strong men to go onto these platforms. And that's nothing against the women. They just don't want a strong man to get on there and to really compete with them for ideas and power. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lion. And when I get on the stage, they're going to have to deal with a lion. And they don't want to deal with the lion. They don't want to do that. So they put people on there whom they believe that are weaker vessels than them, whether it's right or wrong or true or not. They try to do that. If you look at Revolt, they only put women on there. They had 2 female conservatives and they had a panel full of dudes. They had like 1 girl on the whole panel. And that's including Killer Mike. You know what I'm saying? And you can go look at the Vox special. Who did they interview? They interviewed only women. And then they did documentaries on 2 women. One happened to be raised by white people, which is nothing wrong with it, but you're not giving a balanced perspective of the real conservative movement and who's all represented in that movement. They pick and choose who they want to represent so that they can set it up to do a hit piece. They set Candace Owens up So T.I. can say one thing that they want to use forever. People ain't gonna watch the whole thing. Nobody's gonna watch an hour, 2, 3 hours of that stuff. They're gonna see that one hit that T.I. did. That's why they set T.I. next to Candace. That's why he did all the hype man stuff. That's why he did all that stuff, because they want to find a soundbite that they can have him saying something against Candace. They ain't gonna have most of her good stuff on there. They're gonna only have what he said to her, and then they're gonna make that go viral. I'm telling you. Let's see. Somebody said Jesus' nationality didn't matter. Jesus is Jewish. Jesus was a Jew. Don't get me into religion right now. I gotta go. They wouldn't let Candace speak. Man, been good to see you on the revolt debate, spitting. Do it. I've been on their hind parts. I respect the person for the action. Color is irrelevant. Yes, he is a Jew. Just can somebody fill me in? Now we closing right now. Let's see. Christians really want to follow Jesus. Then why aren't they all Jewish? Man, this is the thing. Let me say this real quick, and I'm gone. Jewish don't mean what Jewish meant back in the day, in my opinion. Like, you got factions of Judaism that are very different. And I'm not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. You got Jews that claim to be Jews now that believe in the Trinity. You got Jews that don't believe in the Trinity. You got Jews they call Messianic Jews, but they believe in Jesus, unlike other Jews. It's so conflated. So when people say, "Why aren't you a Jew like Jesus?" It's kind of like the meaning of Jews now is very different. I think it has taken on. It's like the name of Christianity, and it's like 50 sects of Christianity. You got 40 churches. You can drive right down the street right now. You can see Pentecostal, you can see Apostolic, you're gonna see a Church of God in Christ, you can see Seventh-day Adventist, you're gonna see Christ Church, you're gonna see Mormon Church, you're gonna see Baptist, you're gonna see Lutheran, Presbyterian. You're gonna see all kinds of stuff. You're like, why aren't there one church? People they go their own directions, man. I think that Jesus was clearly a Jew. I think that's one of the most crucial things that people leave out when they talk about Jesus, that he was a Jew. He was an Orthodox Jew. He believed in the Shema and all these other things that people just, they act like it. I guess it don't matter no more. I guess he just stopped being a Jew when they decided he did. I don't know. Let's see. Chart, thanks so much for Super Chat. Do you think liberals will ever give up their radical left ways? I think it'll ebb and flow, man. I think they're gonna come a little bit closer to the middle when they lose this next election. I think they're gonna start trying to swing it in there, because they'll never win they will never win an election again on the stuff they're running. They will never win again on what they're running. Trump got them falling over their own feet. Somebody said Jesus was not white. Black people are the real Jews. What? Why people be going off on these little tangents? Jesus, what? I mean, you say black, what do you mean? Black like American black or black like African black? It's multiple different black people live in France. Come on, man. What you mean black? His skin? See, but people conflate the skin color with what kind of personality he was. I have no connection to Africa. None. I go there and be like I'm a deer in headlights. I don't know what's going on in Africa. So Jesus was darker skinned. He wasn't white with blonde hair, blue eyes. He wasn't. But it really doesn't matter. He had brown skin. So did Moses. So did all these other people. They were dark skinned people. They weren't light skinned. But somebody said Jesus was Middle Eastern. Jesus wasn't Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern wasn't Middle Eastern back when Jesus was alive. That was African. It was African. But it doesn't matter, because he probably didn't act or talk like none of us today. So he was probably brown, but he didn't act like brown people do today. Brown people need to start acting more like Jesus. Let's see. He was Jewish. Yes, he was. He spoke Hebrew. Let's see. Jesus doesn't see color, of course. God don't see color in us. He don't see color in us. He see your spirit. He ain't worried about your flesh. Your flesh, you could be like Michael Jackson. You brown one day, you white another time. What does it matter? Your spirit is what God is after. Your heart, your spirit, your soul. That's what God is worried about. He's not worried about the color of your skin. That stuff can change. It can mold. You can be darker. You can be lighter. You can be ugly. You can be cute. He ain't worried about the shell that you got on. This shell is perishable. Your soul is forever. I wish people would think about that. He spoke Aramaic. Aramaic. I think that's more consistent with what I've read. Jesus was just a vessel for the Spirit of God. I agree. If you listen to what Jesus said, he said, the Spirit of God is in me. I do nothing on my own, but the Father is in me to do these works. I mean, oh man. Hopefully we learn. There's only one race, the human race. God created Adam and Eve, not black Adam and brown Eve, or white Adam and white Eve. Let's see. Richard, RNC is out raising money from its voters versus DNC. Maybe DNC should promise voters free money and then ask them for money. That's what they're trying to do. Hey, we give you free college so you can pay more taxes. What do you think Adam and Eve's ethnicity was? Man, I'm telling you, if you look at any history, people started out all the same color. The only reason that some people have melanin that is different than others is the geographical location that you were at in the evolutionary time. And when I say evolutionary, I'm not talking about the science level of evolution. I'm saying people did evolve by living in a certain area. White people are no different than black people, or no different than Asian people. People evolve in certain hemispheres on the earth. Why do you think Africans living in a hot environment? Africa is hot. It is hot in Africa. There's deserts in Africa. Africa has the most diversity of climate, but it's mostly hot out there, man. Black people out there began to develop more melanin in their skin because they needed to protect from the sun. The hair became kinky and all of this stuff because they needed it for the bugs and insects. It's almost like an insect repellent. And the noses begin to get wider over time because people would literally, you needed the way the oxygen was and everything there, pull in as much oxygen. If you lived in a colder climate, you didn't need as much melanin. So people begin to develop less melanin in the skin. Then you became white. Lighter eyes because of the sun. People with light eyes really don't take the sun well. People with brown eyes or darker eyes, the sun, they can look into the sun and be in daylight without sunglasses on. The brighter your eyes are, the harsher the sun is on your eyes. So all of that stuff is elements of us evolving to a certain degree. We ain't evolved for no monkeys, but as people, we did evolve. Just think about it. Look at the facial features. Look at all this stuff. But the interior is exactly the same. The brain, the heart, the lungs, everything is exactly the same. So, the number of fingers we got, toes, 2 legs. I mean, we're essentially the same. Melanin is the only thing that has changed. And if anybody did any research, you'll understand why.
But somehow I can't be a black woman, but you could be a girl.
You can be a black woman if you want to. Rachel Dolezal did it. Who killed King James? I like these debates, man. I like talking about God and stuff. I think the evolve from monkey thing is fishy. I can't put my finger on it though. Yeah, we ain't evolved for no monkeys, man. I mean, if there was an evolution for monkeys, we'll have the in-between species, right? There'll be an in-between, right? You see the docile, they're not extremely stupid, but
they're called socialists.
But yeah, that's right. That's the socialism. Yeah, maybe we did evolve from monkeys because some of these people that had this socialistic mentality, they seem like their brain haven't developed yet. But there's no in-between species. You can see remains from the I won't say the feline, back when the saber-tooth tiger and all this other stuff, you can see remains, and you can see a progression of remains all the way up until you see the tigers and the feline and the cats today. You don't see the bones of a half man, half monkey evolution. Think about this for a minute. If monkeys, if we were to evolve from that state wouldn't still be alive. Does that make any sense? Like monkeys would have been extinct if humans evolved from monkeys, because the evolution says that the most dominant, the survival of the fittest will live, and all the other primitive features will die. So if running around like monkeys do become primitive enough for us to evolve into humans, then the monkey people would die. That whole gene would die off. Let's see. Somebody say, so I'm a Gentile because I believe in Jesus, question mark. I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what context you're trying to say it in. If you got a lot of hair all over your body, you might be half monkey. Some of y'all were looking like monkeys, but I don't think you evolved from monkey. Would somebody write something stupid on here? My moderator said only if you want to get beat up. Let's see. Brandon, answer my question. Who was the first king of Scotland? I would have to look it up, but race don't mean nothing. I think the problem with people with race is they want to say, oh, Jesus was black, as if that has anything to do with black people today. That has nothing to do with, if anything, African people can grab ownership. African American people don't have that same luxury. You are a far, far watered down descendant of African people. If you live in America, you African American. I'm not talking about people who migrate over here. I'm talking about the people who ancestors were here since slavery. You have been sleeping with the white man and the Indian man and all kind of people, and now that you look like me. Now you light skinned like me. You think I'm light skinned like this because I'm purely from Africa? No. The genes, some of the African genes kind of matriculated down because they're dominant. But listen, we should stop looking at it like that. I think we should look at it like we're humans. I forget that I'm black sometimes. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I forget that I'm black. I had to look at myself and be like, oh, I'm different color than everybody else that I'm standing around. You would never know because people are just humans. I was sitting next to a lady on the thing, me and her talking like it doesn't matter that she's white and I'm black. None of that even matters. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, just imagine if people were like the Muslims, like everybody dressed like Muslim. Men, women, everybody dressed like the Muslim with the full garb on, where only thing they can show is your eyeballs. You wouldn't even know who's black or who's white. You wouldn't really know. Unless you can tell somebody who's from the South and somebody who's from the North, or somebody who's from, Baltimore, however they talk, somebody who's from New York or whatever. You could tell accent from different demographics. You won't be able to tell nobody color. Anyway. You ready, baby, to go eat?
Man, I'm tired. I ain't going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere. You gonna cook or no?
Sure.
I knew I messed up. Someone who loves God but is not a Jew. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're asking me, is that right or not? I mean, Jews and Gentiles, okay? The Bible says that there was Jews, the people who were born Jews and they were in the Jewish lineage. And then there's people who weren't in the Jewish lineage. They were the Gentiles. But the Gentiles are now being added to the fold, what they say, through the circumcision of the spirit, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I don't know if you're questioning me or you agreeing with me. Let's see. The LGBTWZYTLK crew can be any gender though. It's science. Bigfoot science, but apparently they study something. Man, there's two genders. Now you may feel like you're a third one, a fourth one, but it's two genders. I don't have a problem. You live in America, man. If you a man and you want to be a woman, do you? I, I don't understand why people even have a problem. I don't understand why we even talking about this as a nation. That shouldn't even be an issue. I think the reason why we're talking about it because these same people want to shove it down your throat. Look at me. I'm a man and I like transgender women. Like, what? Who cares, bro? Nobody cares. Bro, do your thing. All I want you to do is act on the television. I don't want to know who you smashing at night. It's so stupid to me. I don't care, bro. Nobody cares. You want to be a girl. Put a wig on and walk around and be drag, or you want to walk around and be a girl. I don't care. Don't make me get in that. Be you. If you, I mean, it's definitely not right for you to cheat on your wife. But if y'all swinging, that has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. If you gay, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You don't need to say I'm gay. You a person. Just be a person. I don't need to tell you I'm straight. God dang. It's just like, if everybody did that, you know how many sex it would be? It'll be all kind of people. I like white women. I like black women. I like every woman. I'm a straight man. I'm a gay man. I'm a green man. You know what I'm saying? I like money. If a girl got money, I like her. You know.
Hey, excuse me.
Look at them. They all crazy like that. Y'all morning young men. Nah. But man, I just wish we get over that, man. I wish we get over it, man. Everybody I see that get gay or whatever, I mean, I don't care, bro. I love you because if you a good person. If you gay or you trans or you whatever, and you a good person, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Just be nice to me. Just be a human, man. I'll treat you with respect. You know what I'm saying? I had a transgender person I was friends with on Facebook, and they blocked me because I told the truth about transgender cycling. They had a transgender do the Tour de Tucson and cheat the women out of winning and won the thing, and the person been a man for I don't know how many years. And then the person want to come and say, I don't like how you coming against my people. And I'm like, man, I've never been nothing but reasonable. You don't block me or something because I'm telling the truth. Why can't both people accept each other? I don't have a problem with transgender people. I differ in the opinions about it. Why do they have a problem with me and they differ in opinion? We can all get along at the end of the day. If you're a good person, you're a good person, man. I'm sure there's a lot of transgender people that are just regular people. They just going through something or whatever, or they believe they were born like that, whatever they feel. I'm pretty sure they're a good person. I'm pretty sure they'll give a helping hand to somebody if they need it. I'm pretty sure you can have a conversation with the person, and they may just look like that, but on the inside, they got a soul, they got a heart. You know what I'm saying? They got feelings and stuff like everybody else. I don't know why we gotta act like we so different from each other. White people feel the same way as black people do. You know, we may have a difference in some cultural stuff. Thanks, Mom, for blocking that girl. That girl is an idiot. That girl's an idiot. I don't perpetuate violence, but some people just need to be, some people need to get slapped. Not by me. Not by me. Maybe in the spirit or something, but I can't stand people that's so dumb. She just wrote a comment, babe, and said, your white girlfriend don't love you.
Oh,
she said black people are the real Jews. You can't exist in America. You can't live like that. You can't be that stupid.
You're the only thing I love, baby. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to that hater.
That girl's stupid as two left shoes. If you think one race is superior over the other, you a dummy. Ideas are superior. Ideas are superior over others. Confidence. Your relationship with God is superior over other stuff. Actually, Jesus changed the Sabbath. Somebody said Jesus changed the Sabbath.
Yeah, it was on Saturday, wasn't it?
No, Jesus ain't never changed no Sabbath. The Sabbath is still the Sabbath, is still the Sabbath. What Jesus did was clarify, because people thought, Jesus said, the Sabbath was made for the man, not the man for the Sabbath. Because people were criticizing Jesus because he was doing things on the Sabbath day. And they said, oh, you hypocrite, you doing this and that. And Jesus is like, God didn't make men to serve the Sabbath. He made the Sabbath for men to have rest. And so Christians, for some reason in America, I don't know, I don't know why Christians have church on Sundays. It makes more sense to have church on Saturdays, but Jesus clarified and said, it doesn't matter. Y'all putting too much emphasis on what day, what time. But you're not, it's the point is that God created it for you to have rest on that day, for you to not do things, not work, or whatever the case may be, and observe God. You could do that on Saturday just as soon as you can do it on a Sunday. People getting into the weeds about it too much, I think. As long as you do the day in a reasonable sense, it makes sense to you. I don't think God is going to be like, you didn't do the Sabbath on Sunday because in Europe, it's actually still Saturday and you at church right now. It's like, come on, y'all doing too much, because what day is it today in Jerusalem? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think time zone was in consideration when they were talking about the Sabbath. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think people were thinking like, well, we observe the Sabbath on this day, but then on the other side of the world, man created another day and a time zone that somehow God is subject to, a time zone that men created. A man telling you that this is a Sunday because they worship the sun god. So they tell you this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all man-made days with pagan names. And y'all still want to use them and then try to make them holy and say, no, God wanted you to have the Sabbath on a Saturday. I'm pretty sure God probably wouldn't want you to call it Saturday. Because if I'm not mistaken, Saturday is the observation of Saturn. That's where it came to Saturday, Sunday, the sun god. That's why they call it Sunday. But hey, you want to worry more about the day, although you're worshiping on a pagan named day, but you're supposed to be a Christian. See, that's why Jesus was telling you, stop worrying about all that stupid stuff and understand the principle in which the Sabbath was created. It was created for the man, not the man for the Sabbath. I'm preaching. Where did offering plate? Pay your tithes and offering. No, I'm just playing. Do you believe that skin color or birth country has anything to do with the word race? I'm not even sure how that question. My brain too tired for that question. Let's see.
Like, do you think someone's race has something to do with where they're from?
What does that mean? I mean, race is a created word. I don't even know.
So, like, is someone Chinese because if someone's like of the Chinese race because that's in their DNA they're Chinese, or because they were born in China?
Oh, I think that
that's what I took their question to be.
I think it's where you're born, but I think people take it to another level. It's like the only reason they call people African American is because our lineage comes from the continent of Africa. But they don't call white people white American. They don't call you I don't know, Irish American or whatever. Mm-hmm. They don't really call you that. They just call you white. And they
just call me cracker.
They call you crackers. Saltine?
Tell them what you call me.
Saltine?
Tell them what you call me.
Baby, don't say that on live.
Tell them.
You know I don't call that girl no again. I would never say nothing like that. Only when I'm mad. No, I'm just playing.
Tell them what you call me.
What I call you? Who? Oh, Pale Force One. That ain't you told you got people think I'm calling you cracker or something. I call her Pale Force One because she really a light skin. She didn't need melanin. She in the house all day.
I got no melanin.
She just turned into a lobster if she go outside.
That's true.
Somebody said, Miss D said you're a starving Korean. Trust me, Korean don't need to eat no more food.
See how we do?
I was just playing. Korean is beautiful, man. She looking good. Almost 40. She almost 40.
Watch
Still
your
looking
mouth.
good. Still looking good over there.
Watch your mouth.
Still looking good. Almost 40. Babe, that's a compliment.
I am not almost 40. I am a spring chicken.
You're closer to 40 than you are
baby.
35. No, you are. Let me quit lying. You're closer to 40 than you are 30. I love your hair, babe. I like when you do it like that. Because it don't have all the stuff all hanging out on the sides. Somebody said, dang, she 40. No, she's not 40. She got several more years ago. But then they see how beautiful you are, they probably be like, dang, she 40?
I'm not 40.
You know, I know you're not 40, babe. She's 25, Brandon.
That's right.
Hey, babe, she can identify, what you want to identify as? A 25-year-old?
32.
32-year-old?
Yeah.
Okay. You can identify as a 32-year-old, baby.
And if you say otherwise, you're a bigot.
Well, how about you tell God he a bigot when your body start aging because you're growing? She will always be 32 forever.
Thanks, babe.
Catholics are Christians.
That's true. Don't get him started.
It's true, but it's not true. But it's true. If you want to call yourself a Christian, you can. But it's almost Catholicism is almost a different religion than you know, I guess Orthodox Christianity. I mean, no Christian church prays to the saints. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's Catholics, they do service a certain way. I mean, I don't know why people say that. Like, I guess if somebody say they're a Christian, they believe in Christ.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But Christ never prayed to the saints and nothing like that. So I don't know. I think that's where people like have the controversy, right? They feel like Catholicism is very different than what Jesus and the apostles did. So that's why they say those were Christians and Catholics are Catholics. But if you want to say that Catholics observed that Jesus Christ was a Messiah and you call Catholics Christians based on that principle, then you could say yes. But if you think, but if you're saying that Catholics do the same thing that apostolic people do or Baptist people do, it's really not the same. And to be honest, I would argue that Catholics don't believe that these modern day Christians are doing what's right because they don't go to confession. And I believe Catholics do confession because that's the only way you get your sins forgiven. I believe if they didn't do that, then they wouldn't believe that. You don't get baptized as a kid in Baptist churches and some of these more, you know, post Martin Luther era. You don't pray to saints. You don't have the rosary prayers. You don't say the prayers. You don't do the service the same. There's a whole bunch of difference between Catholic Church. And I'm not here to tell you which one is right or wrong. I have my opinions about it, but that's not up to me to, you need to do what you need to do. Let's see. What does she even look like? Get her to go on camera.
Instagram.
Go to her Instagram. Go to her Instagram. So Korean. So_Korean. So_Korean. If you go on my Instagram, I just posted a picture of me and her, a beautiful picture when we was at the Freedom Expo. Brandon in the doghouse.
That's right.
Did you write something on my Instagram? She ain't even on it. She on Instagram. Let's see. Did you miss my super chat? No, I thought I said your super chat. Let's see. No, you said, oh, I did miss it. I was about to read it. I was trying to read your name. Fun included. What do you mean by circumcision of the spirit? Brit Miller was created to reduce men's sexuality. It's the same as cutting girls. It's breaking us as men, and parents don't know before they do it. I don't know if I agree with that, man. I would have to do some more research. I mean, circumcision. See, I don't know what you're talking about, but what I'm referring to is that Jews in the Bible were circumcised. And that's how you knew if somebody was a Jew, because they would circumcise the young men. Now, since in the Bible, the Jews were the only ones circumcised, which would identify them in the Jewish religion as being a Jew, the Gentiles they can't be circumcised like that. You know what I'm saying? They weren't circumcised like the Jews were in the Bible. So their circumcision came with the Spirit. The Spirit was their circumcision. They're joining into becoming a spiritual Jew. not necessarily a birth Jew, if that makes sense. But outside of the context of biblical structure, circumcision. I mean, I'm not really sure what I'm not really sure if that compares to female circumcision. I don't even really know what female circumcision is. Is it when you cut the thing off and when they have no sensation there?
Yes.
That's not the same as male circumcision because you don't lose sensation. I mean, there's a variance of sensation, but you don't lose sensation. If a man was to get circumcised, he lost all sensation.
And there's a different intention.
And then, yeah, of course, there's a different intention. I mean,
Different intention.
I mean, I don't really know why the Jews did that to the men. I don't know if it was just to identify them. I'm actually going to look that up because I never really knew the history of why the Jews circumcised the boys. But Muslims or whoever that circumcise women, they do it so women can't have sexual pleasure. They're not unless there's different sects that do it for different reasons.
No,
but
it's the only reason why.
from what I noticed is that they cut it off and they don't have no sexual pleasure. They cannot have pleasure during sex, and they do it so that they can kind of like, I don't know, what muzzle women sexually, where you can't have a good time, you can't be sexually promiscuous, because it don't feel good, I guess. And they cut the thing right off. But the men can be dirty weenies, hanging out, having sex with all kind of women. Let me tell you something. If you believe in a religion where your differentiation is based on sexual stuff and pleasure, and something ain't right, man. Something ain't right. If a man can have multiple wives, but wives can't have multiple husbands, something ain't right, man. That sounds like some cultish, sexual, perverted stuff. There ain't no reason for a man to have more than one woman. It's hard enough to be with one woman. You're gonna have 5 of them. You know you ain't take care of them women right. But a woman can't have no men. Like women can't have sex like men do. Women don't enjoy sex like men do. No, matter of fact, women probably can have more sex than men can. But somehow women's supposed to be cut off, but men get to play. That's stupid to me. That's stupid to me. Just like in I ain't gonna go down that path. Some religions believe in polygamy, and they changed now. I wonder why. And also some religions still believe in that stuff. It's like, dude, that don't sound right. That should be the biggest red flag in your religion, that men and women are somehow treated unjustly. Men and women shouldn't be treated in an unjust manner. There is a position thing that goes on. Men are the leaders of the household, but that don't mean the man is better than the woman. That just means you got your own position that you work within. And for you to be cutting out women's genitalia because you don't want them to enjoy sex, I mean, there's a special place for you. And it's probably really hot. And I hope it burn you forever. Because there's no reason for you to consciously treat a person like that. Because your sexual lust. Because you don't want women to be having a good time like you having. So you want them to not feel nothing when they have sex. They probably can't even, they can't even finish the job. They just lay there like a fish, dead fish. Because you didn't mess them up because you don't want the next man to outdo you, I guess. If you think men rule the house, you never met my grandmother. Well, maybe I ain't gonna say that.
It's true.
I'm not saying that women can't lead. What I'm saying is that men are supposed to lead. So if a woman is leading the household and the man ain't doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? There are very strong women, but you just need a man who's even stronger. You know what I'm saying? Strong women fall into this trap of saying, I can't find no man. I can't find no man, and they're a strong woman. Well, some of y'all, you're just not being a good woman. But I would assume that a lot is just you just can't find a strong enough man. You keep going for these weak ones. You got to run into a man that can lead. If you keep running to these weenies, you'll never get led, and then you end up leading. And I don't think that's a structure that God wants us to have. Can it happen? Yes. Can a single mom raise kids? Yes. But is that the optimum way God wanted to go? No, it's not. Is that the best result you can get? Probably not. But it's possible. You know, can you run a marathon with no legs? Yes, you can have prosthetic legs. But I can't imagine a guy with prosthetic legs beating a guy with regular legs.
Well, actually, there was a guy with prosthetic legs who couldn't compete. I forget if it was college or like the Olympics, because they said he had an advantage
Oh, because they had springs because
Yep.
because you don't build fatigue.
So I see your analogy, but
No, but it's very hard. I mean, it's rare for a person to even get to that point.
I'm just kidding.
But also, the same thing with the transgender people. See, they got Special Olympics. Transgender people need to have their own stuff. Because you manipulating genetics and taking hormone, all kinds of, you're not competing at a normal rate. If that was the case, then handicapped people and everybody should be in one Olympics. No, it's not fair because some people have a level of handicap. When you handicapping women, when you a man and you go into a sport, I can go into almost any sport right now and dominate women, and some of them I've never played. Give me about 6 months, I would dominate any professional woman in just about any sport, just about, not all, but most. And I'm not even, and it's not nothing to be proud about because I would get my butt swept under the rug in most male sports right now by other men, which is my competitive category. Like, women powerlifters and CrossFitters, and they're not nowhere near close to men. They're not. If you look at CrossFit, the women don't lift the same as men. They still do the same reps, but they don't do the same. They don't lift the same. If women had to do strict pull-ups, they would have no chance to compete with men. That's why they do kipping and they do all this stuff where they throw their legs and all that stuff. I'm not saying it's easy to do all that, but what I'm saying is that that's an easier way for people to do pull-ups. You had to do strict pull-ups where if women had to, if you said you got to power clean 275 to make it to the next station, most women can't do 275. That's like 95% of CrossFit women probably will just, you got to do 315. Every CrossFit woman in America couldn't do 315. They wouldn't make it to the next category. And if they did, they wouldn't be able to do that and then keep up with the other stuff. That's why we have separate sports. And we can do co-ed sports. Comments on Candace Owens T.I. What do you think? I already said something about that. Maybe I'll make a video about it at some point. Let's see. What do feminists want to see their athletes to men? Many feminists are stupid. So I said 315 is a lot. I can do 235. When I was in college, man, I wasn't good at power cleaning. I think I did 395 or something. I didn't do that much. I remember my power clean wasn't that good. I think the most I ever power clean was like 320. But I benched almost 400. I did 395. I squatted 5 something twice. I could have probably hit 600 on squat. Let's see. Chart, thanks so much for the super chat. My Spanish teacher says that we all have to speak Spanish no matter what. Shouldn't they be teaching kids how to speak English, not the other way around? Yeah, man, you shouldn't be speaking on Spanish, man. I'm going to tell y'all this. Every time I hear somebody speaking Spanish, it pisses me off. And I'm going to tell you why. If you know English and you speak in Spanish instead of English, you should be ashamed of yourself. You in America. English is the language of this country. I hate when people do that, man. It's so disrespectful to me. That's like when somebody that knows sign language, and then they got another deaf person in the room, but they talking to another person instead of signing. That's disrespectful. And there's no way around that, man. If a person is deaf, but you know how to communicate with a deaf person, all of y'all know sign language, but you're going to speak to that person without communicating with sign language, you're leaving a deaf person out of the conversation intentionally. The same thing Chinese people do with they look when they doing their nails. I went and got a pedicure, and they going one tongue, one. And I'm like, I know y'all talking trash about us. I know y'all. If you wasn't, then you'd be saying it in English. But I said it was a Mexican person the other day. I don't know if they're from Mexico. I said they were Mexican. I don't know, Latino person. Maybe Latinx. I don't know, knowing the day's time. And they sitting there talking in perfect English. And they look over at another person speaking Spanish. And the other person speaking English somewhere, and then they start speaking in Spanish. It's like, man, you want to have people not like you when you do that. They should mandate that you have to speak English. You have to. I mean, because our country is so, They so weenies. We're such weenies that people want to tell you. I didn't even learn Spanish when I was in college. I actually don't like the language. Every time I hear the Spanish language, I'm just like, it irritates me. But I like sign language better, so I did sign language.
Didn't you speak Spanish as a police officer?
I spoke Spanish.
A lot of Spanish.
I spoke Spanish as a police officer. I knew Spanish. I knew how to tell you to get on the ground, put your hands behind your back. It's just one of those languages, but I just don't. It doesn't sound. I guess the people that I've heard speak it, it just don't sound elegant. You know how people like French is it's romantic, and like English sounds crisp. Because when I hear people speak Bulgarian and some other stuff that I hear cyclists speak, I'm like, why does English sound so much more crisp? Where it's like, I went out, I played hard, I fought hard, I won the race. It's like da be the dawo be awo a the ha a the ha and na. I'm like, that just sounds like y'all take too much time to talk. I went out there, I did it, I'm finished. I feel like English is the best language. Obviously, because it's probably the most wide spoken language around the world. I think so. Most major countries, English is their primary language.
Just a xenophobe.
Yeah, people say I'm xenophobe. People can say what they want, man. I like what I like and I don't like what I don't like, man. I think I don't know. Some people think Spanish is romantic, right? But I think there's a different Spanish, right? There's the Spanish from South America, and then let me not sound stupid on this live stream because there's another, I would say, sect of Spanish, right?
Yeah, I forget what like a dialect.
It's another dialect.
It's like
It's different though. It's different. It's the words are different too than like Mexico Spanish, and then Spanish in America is different than Mexico Spanish. They call it Spanglish. So people say other things. Like I would say commands in Spanish that I learned from the police department. They go, "You can't say that. That's not even a real word." I'm like, I got it from the Spanish thing right here, and they're like, "Well, you don't say it like that in Mexico."
Yeah.
So if you run with somebody that speaks Spanish from Mexico, they're gonna look at you crazy and I know what you're talking about. But anyway, Spanish ain't my favorite language. So I took sign language, which I love. But I wish that people in America can decide that they want to pick whatever language they want to. Unfortunately, it may behoove you to do Spanish. And it's funny nowadays, I can't even say that I don't really like Spanish. And people think, oh, there's something wrong with you. Some people say that they may not like Arabic. I think Arabic is pretty interesting to hear people speaking Arabic. There's other languages that sound very interesting to me. That's kind of cool. But English sound the best. Maybe because I only know English. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds, I always wondered that. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm like, I wonder what would the world be like if I knew Spanish, like, or if I knew it well enough. I know Spanish, right? I could say
Spanish music.
Nah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's different Spanish because the Spanish that I hear when I'm on the south side of Tucson and it's going.
I will play you some. No.
They be out there basing. I'm like, every song sound like that. She think it's funny. I mean, I'm like,
I know, baby. No,
I'm saying it's different Spanish.
I will play you some Juanes, some Mana, and you will like it.
That means some Juarez and Wana.
It's Juanes. For everyone who knows, watching this live stream, I got a Juanes and a Mana playlist, and I'll play it for him.
Play it for me, babe. If it sounds good, it sounds good. But
so good.
I try to listen to it on the radio, and I'm just like
Grammys, legends.
Because see, I don't have to listen. Like there's certain languages. Like Jamaican, obviously the national language in Jamaica is English, but
that ain't English.
It is English.
That's not English.
It is English.
A word they're saying.
No, because there's people that speak Jamaican, but English is the language in Jamaica. But I watched a movie. It's called. If you have never seen this movie, you want to watch it. What is it called?
Cool Runnings.
No, girl, that's an American movie. It's called Shatas. That's the best movie I've seen. It's one of the best movies I've seen. It's called Shatas. It's violent. But it's in they speak Jamaican, maybe Haitian or Jamaican in that movie. I don't know what they're saying, but I feel like I know what they're saying. Like then the music, like I like reggae music. So I listen to reggae music, and they speaking with the Jamaican dialect, and I don't know what they're saying, but it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Spanish don't sound like that. She said she got a playlist that sound good.
Fire.
Even little Arabic music. I heard the Arabic rap music, and I was like, all right, that sound all right.
Probably French.
Huh?
Probably French.
You think it was French? I mean, I don't know. They sound like blah, 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 blah to me. But I know a little bit of Jamaican.
Your stepdad was Jamaican.
Just beware if somebody call you a bate boy. I'm a fussy guy. No, that's disrespectful, okay? If a man call you a bate boy, I'm a fussy guy, that's disrespectful. If somebody say, I'm a lick in a bunghole, you know, that don't mean they're going to lick you. That mean they're going to hit you. So in Jamaican, lick is hit, like a lick. Like you can take a lick. I'm a lick in the box side, there, you know. I don't know why I say there and all at the end. It just sounds like it's supposed to go there. But my friend Dane and Dean, they were Jamaican. And their mom used to say stuff and we just be like, what did she say? Get her in the house there now. So what she say? Din. Get in the house, Din. A lick in a box side.
You're a fool.
If you never heard of Beanie Man, you should look up Beanie Man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who am I? Madame girl, look. And I. Make love to a fella in the rush. Pass me the keys to the truck. Who am I? Madame girl, look. Pass me the keys to the truck. Boom, 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 boom. And when I was with...
People had no idea what they were in for tonight.
My mama dated a guy who was Jamaican. I'll leave it at that. He was Jamaican. And we used to always listen to reggae music. Always. And Beanie Man. All that. I used to love it. Who am I? That damn girl. What's my other song? The Jamaican song?
People are watching to hear about politics.
They like to hear everything. They like to hear all things Tatum. Because everybody talk about politics all day long, but they don't get to talk about other stuff.
They don't get to speak Jamaican.
Bob Marley. I'm a rude boy there, you know. I'm a rude boy. I love Beanie Man, man. Beanie Man was a I like Bob Marley. I like his son too, Damian Marley. That's his son, right?
Yeah.
Damian Marley is I don't know if he woke now, because nowadays Trump deranged syndrome is like the plague. How did you feel about the Revolt Summit? Since you super chatted, I gotta answer it. Let's see. I thought, let me tell you, I thought that Candace did the best she could. I really do. I think she was set up to fail, but I don't think it was a failure. I think that Candace held her own, and I think that there are some people that can draw from anything she said. Some people will be thinking twice about it, even the fact that she came on television. I think that they intentionally put two women on there because they didn't want to battle. They didn't want the world to see that there's lions on the other side. They don't want to see Brandon Tatum. They don't want to see Montaga. They don't want to see King Face. They don't want to see, ABL. They don't want to see David Harris Jr. They don't want to see, what's the boy name, babe? The big dude that I like. Damien. They don't want to see Damien.
No, Damani.
Damani. I say Damien. It's another guy named Damien. Damani. They don't want to see, who else out there? They don't want to see somebody like Derek. They don't want to see.
Derek can go on and spit some fire.
Derek, I think Derek went on there. He'd be real sophisticated. Derek should be on Breakfast Club.
With his Versace logo.
His Versace looking like Drake. Derek looked just like Drake. He like a Drake lookalike.
True.
They definitely don't want Jericho Green on there. They don't want They can't do Jericho Green. Jericho Green to shut that mud down. Amazing Lucas. I don't know if Amazing Lucas is as conservative as they need him to be, because I just think they need to have a polarizing viewpoint. I think Amazing Lucas is kind of conservative, and some things he don't really agree with. Some things I don't agree with. Some things he says, but he can definitely hold his own. But I think that they need somebody on the far side, because they got far left. They need somebody defending that, in my opinion. And I'm not saying either part is wrong. But I do think they need to fight fire with fire.
But Candace did really well up there with gangster rappers.
Candace did well, but Candace did well. You're talking about a young lady who, 2-3 years ago wasn't even a conservative. She ain't never been in that environment before. And these dudes on the stage, they big name people. The crowd is probably booing out of control, which most people on the thing they can't hear. Oh, Larry Elder. Somebody said Larry Elder. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now you tell me this. Tell me that P. Diddy don't know who Larry Elder is. Killer Mike do. You think they'll bring up Larry Elder on there? No. They can't do that. Larry Elder will school them. Candace and I, we all young conservatives, man. We've been in the conservative movement 2 years, 3 years. Larry Elder been doing this for 20 years. He got several books. Thomas Sowell, he's old now. He probably couldn't do it, but in his heyday, people be coming to that thing. They be coming to the altar. Somebody say, I think, let's see, thanks so much for another super chat. I think T.I. is a moron. Yeah. That was worth $2. Listen, man, that's why I couldn't be on there, because I'd have called T.I. out directly. Now, I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know if Candace ever really got on his rear end, but I would have called him out. I'd be like, bro, you the fakest. You one of the fakest dudes. You shouldn't say nothing about what the white man do. You shouldn't say nothing about the black community, because you done more harm, in my opinion, to the overall perception of the black community than you've done good. You could go out right now and you could give 40,000 people an opportunity, but bro, your music touched millions of people over decades, maybe a decade. You didn't influence the psyche of so many people to think gang banging and drug dealing and all that stuff is cool. What did you do to your baby mama? You sitting there talking about Trump and you cheated on your baby mama on national TV. Y'all got a whole TV show and you up there cheating and stuff. You better shut your mouth. And I guarantee you none of them gonna say nothing to me on stage, because we'll throw the hands. I'll throw the hands on the stage if I have to. Now I don't want to, because I think it's a bad look if I was to start it. But T.I. get up on me, bro. You gonna be. We'll throw the hands. I came from the hood. I know what it is.
They don't want no smoke, babe.
They don't want no smoke. Listen. Candace Owens is a very nice young lady. She's very respectful, very nice. B. Tatum, I'm nice. You do something. You push it to the limit. I'll take it there. I will take it. I will take it all the way.
You let him know you're a young savage, babe.
Young Savage, you heard me? I got Young Savage on my stomach. Now it's Fat Savage now. I got to do some crunches. Baby, we going to eat?
Baby, I'm waiting on you.
You waiting on me? Hand and foot?
Everything's closed, don't I? Always.
What time is it right now?
You think these are cute?
I want that salad. You look like you like RoboCop little sister or
These
something.
are Tom Ford.
Who is Tom Ford?
Who is Tom Ford? Oh, baby.
I know who Henry Ford
Actually,
is.
we shouldn't wear Tom Ford because he won't dress Melania.
She look like she finna get on a Harley with bugs.
These are Goodwill pile. We don't do Tom Ford.
All right. Do y'all listen to music at the rally? The lyrics in the song. So many tell so little time. Let's see. Tricky Vicky, thanks so much for the super chat. Hayden music page, guys. That's who. Let's see. DM, thanks so much for the super chat. Swift and Dixie Chicks suck.
Yep.
Do you know Kevin's Corn? I guess you mean Kevin's Corner? Or is that something? I know who Kevin's Corner is. I know him personally. I got his phone number. You see, Mr. Tatum was a cop. I wouldn't want to mess with him. Listen, let me tell y'all something real quick. Let me give you a secret.
Oh, baby.
Police officers have more street credit than some of these gangbangers. I used to fight people hand to hand often as a police officer. I've been in life and death situations, guns pulled. I'm really, really, really with it. These rappers be lying to y'all. They can't name the last time they had a gun in their hand, unless they were playing with it in the bedroom somewhere. None of them have any level of training shooting. Most of them ain't never been in life and death. I'm telling you, most of them ain't. They just telling you on record because they sound tough. They ain't never done nothing, bro. I didn't ran across so many. I'm a thug. I'm a gang banger. And then when they start looking at that time, they turn into weenies real fast. I remember this dude, big time gangbanger in Tucson or whatever, Cottons, the Cottons. This fool, I don't know if he's gonna make it when he get out after doing 25 years in prison, because that's how much he got. This fool throwing drugs behind his back like he LeBron James, and I caught him. We took him to jail. He go, man, he crying in the car. He supposed to be big time gangbanger. Tekashi 6ix9ine, that dude a weenie too. Big time gangbanger. I'm a gangbanger. He in the back of the car crying. I wish I'd have had him on Instagram. Like, bro, you crying. I can't do that time, bro. I ain't no snitch, but I just can't do that time. So what did he do? We signed him up to snitch. But what he didn't know, that he was on probation. And on probation, we can't use your testimony, so you can't sign up as an informant. And he did all that snitching for nothing. So he did all that snitching. They like, oh man, you're on probation. We can't even use you now. All that snitching. These people fake, man. They fake. They're fake. Gangbanger like popcorn. Yeah, you Joe Biden popcorn gangbanging, man. You an old Joe Biden popcorn gangbanger. Or you a old, what's his name, baby? His friend name was T-Bone. You old, baby, what's his name? Oh. The congressman, the black dude that you just can't stand. Cory Booker. You Cory Booker T-Bone gangbanging, man. Baby, I want some wine?
You got it, love.
Somebody says my will. I hug police all the time. Hey man, let me tell y'all this, man. If y'all, I should promote this place, man. I'm so bad with my memory. I done forgot both places I went to. You go to Maryland, you got to try the crab cakes. I'm not lying to you, man. One day I'm gonna figure out the name of that place. I'm gonna let y'all know. They catered food for the blessed thing, man, and it was good. I ate 3 of them crab cakes, and they were this big. And then I took a whole box of that crab pasta home. Couldn't even eat it all. I didn't even have a fork. I didn't have a spoon. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, hungry. I didn't even have a spoon, so I used the bread to pick the pasta up to eat it off the bread. I was so hungry.
Baby, why don't your pants fit anymore?
Huh?
Why don't your pants fit?
That's adult. That's adult conversation. I'm just playing. I'm fat. That's all. I don't even want to get on that scale.
Woo, boy.
Ooh. Somebody, they laughing at me.
You a big boy.
I'm kind of fat, man.
Husky.
I'm kind of fat, man. She's a great cook. That's right. You saved me. Baby, you need to start cooking all that good food all the time.
I haven't cooked a meal in weeks. We've been traveling.
But I'm going to tell y'all this. She be cooking these meals, and she be cooking. It's good. It's really good. Even if it's healthy. She give me a plate this big full of food. I be like, babe, I know you want to keep me around, but you ain't got to make me fat so other women don't want me. You know what I'm saying?
I make you a normal size portion, and then 20 minutes later, you're hungry.
Somebody said, are you drinking? How tall are you, Brandon? I'm a lot taller than people think I am. Everybody say, thank you, baby. Boy, thank God I met this woman. Any woman bring you some wine while you doing live, that's a keeper. That's a keeper. She just extended her time. That's her contract. No, I'm just playing. I just gave her a contract extension.
You're stuck with me. You are stuck.
I just gave her a contract extension. She gonna hold out like Zeke Elliott until I give her another contract extension. And buy some more furniture or something. Let's see. How tall are you, Brandon? I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2", 255 pounds. Let me go measure myself real quick. Y'all, hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I said measure myself.
Baby, you're just going to leave them there on the live stream? No one wants to listen to dead air. I'm gonna take over the live stream.
Get out of my live stream.
I could have just brought you the scale.
So
How much do you weigh?
I'm 253 pounds with all my clothes on. So that's actually a good sign to me because I'm probably about 200 and I'm about probably about 248 pounds because I got jeans on, my shirt. That's just all about 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and then in my shoes. So somebody said 5'11", 270. I mean 170. Man, I'm 6'2". People see me in person, they like, I did not know you were that tall.
They mean tall or big?
You know you wrong. They mean tall, like somebody say, did you get married? Hey, stay in your lane, gangster. Stay in your lane. Is she a Southern girl? Nah.
No.
Nah.
I mean, my grandparents came to California from Oklahoma and Arkansas in the Great Depression, but no, I'm not a Southern girl.
Nah. Are you taller than ABL? Nah, I think ABL is a little taller than me. I think we either the same height. ABL may be a little taller than me. I think ABL like 6'3", 6'4". ABL pretty tall. 6'6", 265. Do you like watermelon? You know you racist. Nah, I'm just playing. I love watermelon, actually. It's pretty good. Every time I go over her parents' house, let me tell you how racist her parents are. Every time I go over her mama house, they put these decorations on the table of watermelons. And then the napkins are all watermelons. And then they come and bring me watermelons. I'm like, dang, I know y'all love me, but you ain't got to do all that. Nah, they all nice. Just so happy they have watermelon stuff at their house.
It's summertime.
Summertime, yeah, because I mean, if you're not racist, then watermelons don't matter to you. But, you know what I'm saying? So, you ain't thought twice about having watermelon blankets and all kinds of stuff. They ain't got no watermelon blanket.
My mom just puts it out when you come over.
She just put it out when I come over. Oh.
And then she's all, what?
She's like, is Brandon coming over? Babe, let's pull out all the watermelon stuff. He would love that. And the Kool-Aid.
The purple Kool-Aid.
And then they dress in blackface too. I was like, what is going on?
I know they don't.
I'm totally kidding. Y'all know I'm kidding. I'm like, why they got blackface on, babe? What are they doing?
Why does your mom
And then they start tap dancing in the living room.
Stop it.
Welcome home, Brandon. Welcome home. And then they got a maid in the back that's black. And then she look at me and she cry. She like be crying all the time. And I just be like, what's wrong with her? I guess she's in a sunken place. And so am I.
Stop it.
I guess we're both in a sunken place.
Quit it.
Okay.
Don't be doing my mom like that.
No, you got great family. Your family is really good. They raised you right.
Sure
You started to lose your way when you came to San Diego, but she got into that California girl, man.
Baby, when I was in San Diego, I was listening to Mike Savage on my way to college. I was going to Dennis Prager talks. I was going to see Ravi Zacharias.
And you up at the club.
Well, that was Friday night.
Friday night, she at the club.
There was no Dennis Prager talks on Saturday nights.
Somebody said you listen to Lecrae. I don't really like Lecrae no more. He too man. He didn't want off the plantation for me.
Super SJW.
Let me say reservation. That's better than the plantation. Let's say great thing you eat: slow smoked brisket and fried chicken. Boy, I love me some brisket and fried. I love fried chicken. I love fried chicken. I love. How many of y'all? I'm gonna get off here. I promise. How many of y'all love chitlins, man? Let's see. B-Tech, thanks so much for the super chat. BT, please call into the Quite Frankly show on YouTube. Now? I can't do it now. We got to eat.
Bro, you said that an hour and a half ago.
I'm like my pastor. He did it to me.
You guys are disingenuous and not true.
No, it's because it's just when the spirit take over, you just got to keep going. Did my response go through, I don't know, James Bond? I don't know. I love chillins, man. You put them hot sauce on that chillin. I remember I ate so many chillins, my head started hurting. I was like, that's how you know I don't think we're supposed to eat that much pork. It's the best food I ever had. And I have to say this. It's a girl that I was talking to. Unfortunately, and this sounds super crazy. I liked her dad more than I liked her. And that sounds super crazy. Trust me, It's not no gay stuff. What happened was her dad was a sergeant on a police department. So me and him got along really, really well. He was like, I was like a son he never had. But his daughter and I really didn't get along that well. We dated a little bit. But her mom, I said I wanted chillins. Her mom was Hispanic. Her dad was black, obviously. And I said, can we do some chillins, right? Because he from the South and, the wife is Mexican. So she put a Mexican twist on the chillins. And I never tell my grandma this, but those were the best chillins I ever had. Even better than my grandma and them chillins. She cleaned them, and I think she bought them clean. And then she put like some peppers in it, some onions in there. I was like, what is this?
Baby, I love you, but I will never make you chitlins.
You're going to do it one day.
That will never happen.
You want that contract extension?
They smell disgusting.
You want that contract extension? You better do your nose like this, baby, them chillins.
You want me to book you for speaking engagements or not? You heard me. There will never be chitlins in my house.
Oh no. No chitlins.
Nope. No, sir.
They smell gross. They do smell like a booty hole.
Oh.
But they taste good though.
Like a rotten booty hole.
It tastes like an old booty hole.
Just awful.
You know how old people breath? It tastes like old people. Everybody said it tastes like, it smells like old people breath.
How do you know what old people booty hole?
I didn't say booty hole, I said breath. I like chitlins boiled hot sauce. That's my boy right there. Who is that? Or battered and fried. I ain't never had fried chitlins though. We only boiled them with the neck bone in there, and then you put some hot sauce on it. But like I said, that girl, her mama put, I don't know, she put pico de gallo in there or something. I don't know what she did, put all kind of stuff. She like made it like Latino. It was the best chitlins I ever had. I almost wanted to show up over there one day and be like,
oh yeah?
I know y'all ain't, and I ain't cool with your daughter, but can you make some chitlins for me? Because my girl don't want to make no chitlins.
I'll drive you over there.
You drive me over there?
I'll go knock on her door.
If the girl there, I won't ask for the chitlins. Nah, I think they moved or whatever. I think her dad like retired right when we were dating.
I will drive you right over to their house.
Me and her dad went fishing together and everything, man. We me and her dad really hit it off. And the funny thing is that her dad is the one that introduced me to his daughter. He saw me at an event and he thought I was a great guy. And, his daughter is young, we the same age, and a young black brother, and his daughter was black. And so I think he saw a match made in heaven at first. But then we just didn't work out.
What happened?
I just didn't like, we
want to know.
I compromised on the looks a little bit. No, because she was extremely skinny. Like she was really skinny. Like she was a model skinny, like really bony. And I never was attracted to skinny girls. So yeah. I already was kind of like, I guess I could overlook that. But that came out. She wasn't really as ambitious as I thought she was. She was supposed to be on America's Next Top Model and everything, and then she turned it down.
So you were a little groupie.
I wasn't a groupie.
You thought you were gonna get you a famous top model.
Oh, she winning when she got me. I changed her life. And then she had a history. She had a little history on her.
Do not get him started. Next question. Next question. Don't get him started.
The odometer was kind of up there. But I told her I don't want to know. I don't want. Listen.
Carfax.
Her Carfax said. See, I knew that. Listen.
Certified pre-owned.
Listen. When your daddy hook you up, that your Carfax is kind of, your daddy got to be the liaison. Your Carfax is probably bad. So I knew the Carfax probably was sketchy, right? Because the Carfax wasn't online. So I knew that I had to ask for the Carfax. If I got to ask for the Carfax, it probably ain't good Carfax, right? So I said, look, I don't want to know the Carfax. Leave it at that. She go, since she want to know, when I was in college, I was having a good time. So she pretty much told me she had about 100, 200,000 miles on it. On a 2008 with, 100, 200 miles on it. At the time, that was a brand new car with 200,000 miles on it. And I just didn't, it wasn't certified pre-owned. You know what I'm saying? And so that didn't really work out to me that well because I couldn't see her the same after she told me she was smashing and dashing. And that was the beginning of the end for that. But I'm just saying,
You
man.
didn't want to put a new transmission on that thing?
The transmission about to go out, and I just didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford to change out the transmission and the oil change and the brakes.
So basically, you're just a chauvinist and you hate women?
Basically. No, I know y'all think it's funny, but that's a real matrix. Like, y'all don't know. I had a conversation with undisclosed men the other day, and we were talking about this. And I told the guy, one guy said he want a brand new car, right? He want a girl that ain't never done nothing.
Oh.
I say, good luck. And then another guy was like, I don't care if I get the car from the junkyard and it got 400,000 miles on it.
It's shiny.
And I said, man, I'm more of like a certified pre-owned guy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta be brand new off the showroom floor, but just low on the mileage. You know what I'm saying? Just low on the mileage. I could consider if the transmission being redone and everything else, and it's a new transmission in it. It's an old body, but a new transmission. I can do that with a car. Because that means that car gonna last a long time.
Oh my God, this is the most lit life ever.
But them other cars, they break down too fast, man. You let up to 30 minutes, that car breaking down. Then you may run into a previous owner. I don't like running to previous owners. When I get a new car, I want that to be my car. I don't want to drive by and they be like, oh man, I remember when I used to have that car, dude. I used to have a rim.
Wait, are you comparing me to a car?
Not you, baby. The other girls. You special. Everybody else trash. I don't know whether. Not you. I would never. You perfect. What? 0 miles? What? Off the showroom floor? What?
I don't got a dent in me.
Ain't got a dent on you. Ain't got a dent on you, girl. You perfect.
I'm crying.
Them other girls, I don't know, boy.
Oh, baby.
Looking at them Carfax, they had what they call it? What they call it when you
Why are you lying to these people?
They had what do you call it when they when the title? What is it?
Salvage.
You got a savage title on that.
Salvage.
You got a salvage title on your Carfax, girl. I done had a couple salvage titles. I was like, I can't do salvage titles. That ain't what I signed up for. That wasn't what your Match.com said. I ain't never been on Match. I was on
Tinder.
Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle. You were on Tinder.
I didn't pay for the membership on Christian Mingle. I was broke.
Fine, dude. This is too funny.
I was too broke to be on Christian
Am I gonna embarrass you with my wispies?
Your hair look crazy as I don't know what, but I still love you though. Everybody ready to go home. Look, she look.
No, this is funny.
Look at her.
He doesn't like my wispies.
I mean, I'm like, babe, why don't you just brush it and I'll lay down?
I'm packing my apartment.
No, and you also put your finger in a light plug.
My edges aren't laid, is what you're saying? I have to see some of these comments. We talk about this all the time.
We do. We talk about it.
Until I'm in tears.
Let's see. Somebody spelled gorgeous wrong.
Thank you, Araya. He thinks I look like a crazy mess. He would look at me in the morning and just be like, you gave up. You gave up. And I'm packing my apartment.
Tell us how Brandon really is. Let's see.
Shall I?
Girl, I'm cool.
He's cool. We have a good time. You guys have to watch my stories. If you want to see how Brandon really is, follow me on Instagram and watch my stories. I give you all the behind the scene details. Yeah,
somebody said we need to make a video game. One day we'll make a relationship video together.
Like a vlog.
Let's see. How many miles does Brandon have?
Brandon was a police officer and a college athlete. How many miles do you think Brandon has?
Listen,
Brandon got miles.
In 2008, I got a new transmission. All right, I got saved, and then my clock started over, so it don't matter. God said, "Do it." Do it. God said He threw it into the sea of forgetfulness. Somebody say I had to start over. I started again. I started fresh. The miles hit 0. God hit the odometer and started it over. I'm a brand new creation, is what He said. Let me stop.
He got miles.
Not that many miles.
He doesn't have many. He was shy.
Well, quality.
Before we dated, we were just friends, and we would talk about dating and with each other, and he wouldn't hit on girls. He doesn't like to talk to girls.
I'm really shy.
He's shy. If girls would turn him down, he'd get his feelings hurt.
I was in my feelings.
So he'd be like, I don't want to put myself out there, because girls would be like, no, I have a boyfriend, and he would take it personal.
It was personal.
It's not personal.
It's like, well, what you trying to say?
She may have had a boyfriend. So I don't really think he has that many miles, because Like,
No, I think they were quality mouths. They wasn't on off road. It wasn't off road.
Excuse me?
It wasn't off road. Went on a dirt road somewhere, messing up the suspension and everything.
mouth. I've seen pictures. It's not quality.
Oh, don't.
I'm just kidding. No shade. He dated nice girls, very nice women.
Some of them were.
Most of them. I'm just being.
Most of them were decent. You know, I'm picky, but
someone said I grew up in Scottsdale. Plenty of miles. Plenty of miles.
What you mean? I didn't live in Scottsdale. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. I lived in Tucson.
You were grown up in Phoenix.
But I didn't go out. I lived in North Scottsdale. That was like 35 minutes from Old Town. I didn't talk to. I didn't date that one girl in there. Well, one person I dated while I lived in Phoenix. One person. Now there was a lot of women out there, but man, I just feel like I'm too old to be out there at these clubs.
Babe, would you like better, being a football player or a cop?
Cop, hands down. Easy.
Oh, there's no more pictures. Is that over?
No, it'll go up. I think. But being a cop was way better. Football was uniquely traumatic for me in college. It was bad. Some of it was my fault. Some of it was the coaches and the environment.
Monica said Brandon's pretty even though he got miles. He was shy. I don't think he realized.
I didn't have no mouth.
He didn't realize he didn't realize that he was cute. He didn't realize that he's like
I'm an introvert. People don't realize that I'm an introvert. I never went out in college. I never went to parties in college. I probably went to like 5 parties in the 5 years I was in college.
He does not handle rejection well.
I had a girlfriend at the time. All throughout college, I had a girlfriend. I think I had some times where we were off or whatever, but I had a girlfriend the whole time in college. Even now, I don't like going out. I don't even like when she go places. I'd be kind of skeptical, but I just never did. I mean, thank God I didn't because maybe I would.
Dance.
I don't really do the dancing stuff, man. If I'm drunk, if I was hammered, I probably would dance and do anything. But you know, when I'm just very uncomfortable around a lot of people. I just don't like being around a lot of people. I just don't. At events and stuff is different. I feel like I'm actually accomplishing something, but like at a club or something, I would have to be super drunk. You know what I'm saying? For me to even have a good time, and I don't like doing that.
Someone said Candace Owens got owned with the revolt. No, she did not. She did not get owned. You're watching clips. She did not get owned.
She didn't get owned.
She held her own. Like
the sure fact that T.I. was on the panel already disqualified him. Ain't nothing that dude could say to get him any brownie point unless you dumb enough to believe what he's selling.
There's no way she got owned. She did very well.
Yeah, somebody else said Candace did not get owned. Y'all smoking blunts. Maybe y'all smoking Sherm. Some of y'all know who Sherm is. That's marijuana.
Exactly. Someone said Killer Mike talked over her and she couldn't like answer T.I.'s question. Exactly.
Yeah, they needed a line on that.
But I think they knew that they had to like speak over her and not let her finish.
They wouldn't do that to a man. They wouldn't do that to another man. They wouldn't do that to another man.
I think if it would have been you or Montag or anybody else, it would have been a lot of battling and talking over each other and arguing. But I think they just like talked over her, and I think she was like, okay, let me answer the question.
Nah, they'd have respected it. They would have respected. I think they respected a few of us a little bit.
MSM said T.I. destroyed her. Yeah, fake news. He did not. He didn't have an answer. He didn't. He said he would say a sentence and the crowd would cheer. It's like she was in a hostile environment. She did very well. She did not get owned.
T.I. is garbage.
Not at all.
T.I. is garbage. Let's see.
Jericho Candace is a beast for sure. Alpha female for sure.
Yeah, I love my boy Jericho.
It's going too fast.
My favorite YouTuber, Jericho Green. I can slow it down if you need to. Let's see. Yeah. They don't never want y'all notice they don't never bring no men on there. They just don't. If you see it, you can slow it down like that.
Oh.
I just go slow.
Mm-hmm.
Girl with the weave.
You don't like my Wispies?
Somebody said, when was America great for black people? This is the thing, and let me touch on this real quick. This is the thing I don't understand. What is your definition of great? Perfect or great? Perfect or good? Perfect or opportunity? Because I think America, when black people were free from slavery, I think that was a great point in American history. I don't know what people are thinking. When you're a slave and you're not a slave anymore, go ask them people, was that a great point in their history? If you put them in the historical context of when they lived, I guarantee you they'll say that was a great moment in history in the dispensation of time they lived in, was when they got free. And then you got to say you move over to another dispensation of time when black people got the right to vote, considered citizens, when segregation, I'm not going to say segregation because some people would disagree that segregation was really beneficial to black people at the time. But man, there's a lot of periods of time. Black people were judges. Black people had their own newspaper. You talk about Black Wall Street. You talk about black scientists.
Some of the first like senators in the Republican Party in Congress were black.
Most of the tons of black people were in political positions in the Republican Party.
The first female millionaire was a black woman in the
first
1800s.
Female millionaire in history, in American history, the first female ever was a black woman.
So there's
in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah, it's been great for black people.
The first black judge was like in the 1800s. It's just they don't tell you this history. Just think of George Washington Carver, the greatest scientist to ever exist. George Washington Carver. What we think that was in 2003? No, I think George Washington Carver was in the 1800s.
Yes.
I think George Washington Carver was a former slave. Greatest scientist ever. How did he have that opportunity? If black people were just so in a pity pool, black people couldn't do nothing. What do you think? Think about this. You talk about music, you talk about all the great things that black people have been able to accomplish and create. They did all of that stuff a long time ago. And now all of a sudden we trying to reset the wheel. When was America great for black people? When they weren't slaves, fool. And even in America, we were the first country to end slavery in the entire world. We were the first country to do it. So America was great. The greatest place to live was in America during that period of time for black people. So if you want to say America was never great, hell, America wasn't great for black people all over the world. It was the greatest in America. Mm-hmm. I don't know what, and not every slave was getting their head beat in all the time. There was different levels of slavery. There was different slaves. There was a house slave. There was slaves that worked in the field. There was slaves that worked in the city. There's different levels to slavery. Everybody see Kunta Kinte and think that's all slavery was. It wasn't always like that. Not every person had the same experience, is what I'll say. Now explain to me this. What was the plantation like on the black plantations? Where the black people owned the slaves? What was that plantation like? Hundreds of black people owned hundreds of slaves. The first legal slave transaction in the 1600s was a black man named Anthony Johnson. He was the first legal slave owner. Two black people.
Awkward.
They were indentured servants that said, my time is up and it's time for us to be free. And he went to court to say, no, I own you for life. And the judge ruled in his favor. How can the 1600s that a judge hear a black man and allow him to own other Negroes as slaves? Y'all see, they lying to you. I need to do more research on this, but I'm kind of curious. How can black people own slaves during slavery in the South? How is that possible? We know that it's statistically or it's documented in history that black people own slaves. If black people were treated so bad, how in tarnation are black people going to have plantations with black slaves? And at the time in which black people were considered less than white people, according to what they tell you. How did they own slaves then? How did they go to court and be heard by a white judge? If black people was reduced to being animals, how did they even own another black person? This stuff is something about this that's drawing my curiosity. It really makes me believe that they've been lying to us about a lot of stuff during this slavery period of time. How did Madam C.J. Walker become a millionaire? How is that possible in the late 1800s? How was she able to generate that much wealth if black people didn't have no opportunity? How? How was George Washington Carver so successful? How was people like Paul Laurence Dunbar, these famous poets, how were they so successful at the time and doing well, but black people were supposed to be under the white man's thumb the whole time, being abused and beaten and hung from trees? Y'all got to understand, bro, most of that happened in the South. But black people were free in the North. I think people forget that. Slavery in the South, you were free in the North. It's weird to me. They've just been lying to us, man, and we buying it. If black people just got mistreated, then they would have just stayed on the plantation. Harriet Tubman wouldn't have took no black people to the North. They took them to the North because they were free. What does that mean? That means they had the freedom to do things. They weren't going to go work for a white man. If they were free, then they wouldn't necessarily be free. Black people had all kind of stuff that they did. Businesses. They did all kind of stuff. They were judges, attorneys. Like, we need to really look into this because I think there's a big part of history that's missing. Let's see, France had slaves. African brothers sold out their own people. When was Africa ever great? Ooh, y'all don't like that. When was Africa ever great? Since y'all want to be considered African. African, I don't think they ever done black people right. Their own people. All right, I'm out of here. I got to bounce. I love y'all. I really enjoy doing long lives like this. I like talking and being, doing more than just politics. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you go to the Officer Tatum store. Get your cool merch. The store is in the description section. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.